She is not being asked a question. We ask that the board discontinue allowing this to occur. We also noticed that the presence of the normal group of POA employees were missing. Since non-employee property owners received sanction letters, we are wondering if the employees and employee spouse who purposely strode over to our side of the room also received sanctions. Is that why they were not at the special board meeting? I said that the meeting was productive, but parts of the meeting were concerning. We are always supportive of prayer, except when the prayer is used as a manipulative and condescending tool. This prayer was used to shame folks that have different opinions. This is unacceptable and very offensive. We also found the reference to protective covenants for dummies to be offensive. This is not the first time we have heard folks speak of property owners in a disdainful manner. The chairperson's monologue at the beginning was also unacceptable. The board cannot control property owners and social media. The board does not have the right to chastise property owners for speaking up about what we consider to be the problems we see being created. This was an attempt to stifle and control us. Very wrong of the board chairperson to do this. We have talked to a number of realtors. They feel they are being pushed.
Cheryl,
Yes.
I'm going to interrupt you just
Yes,
for a
ma'am.
moment. This is meant to be a dialogue. Do you have something that is of a dialogue nature, or is this a statement?
Okay, we talked to a number of realtors. They feel like they're being pushed out by village homes and land. And I contacted Teleco Villages through their POA website. The person that responded back to me was not the POA. It was an independent realtor. On the Teleco POA website, they list independent realtors and independent builders. There doesn't seem to be anything like a Builders Guild or Teleco Homes and Land. Another potential problem that I feel is the development of a lodge. Has a return on
So
investment.
Carol, I'm going to interrupt again. This is meant to be a dialogue, and I'm happy to
Okay. Do
dialogue
you
with
wanna-
you on any of this, but
Okay.
I don't want it to just turn into a statement here that's so long that I
No,
can't remember the topics that you're bringing up.
Well, okay, I understand. Okay.
Well, if you're,
Why don't you just bring up one topic and let's dialogue about that
The
topic?
first thing that I wanted to ask were about the sanctions. Was anybody sanctioned but Melinda Noble and Brian Darst? They received sanction letters.
Let me just say, this board has compiled a list of about 17 different things we're going to be doing in response to what we experience, and that's all I'm going to be willing to say about that.
Okay, I appreciate that. The prayer, we object to that.
So noted.
Okay. We also object to protective covenants for dummies.
So
Can I say
noted.
something, Cindy?
No, I'm going to give you one last chance to have something that we can dialogue about. And then I'm going to move on to the next person. I'm trying to give you a chance here.
Okay, can we talk about the lodge?
Sure.
Okay.
Good. Let's
Okay.
do that. What's your question about it?
What is being done to develop this, and has return on investment been done on this? I mean, I have a lot of questions about it, but what's being done to develop the lodge?
I think it's fair. We all have a lot of questions. In I believe is it June? I'll look it up. In June is when the CEO is to come to us with
I thought that was
proposal.
August. It's August.
Maybe it's August.
August.
Maybe it's August. So we
Yeah.
don't have any more information to share with
Okay.
you on that.
Okay.
So she's doing the developing of it, and then she comes to you and says, this is what I am.
Yeah, she has to come with a proposal for us to contemplate.
Is there a developer chosen yet, or have
I know we haven't talked about
Right,
it. Yeah,
okay.
we haven't talked about
So
it.
know,
you don't,
I was in one of the first meetings back when Twiggs was here, and they had some company come in to do a survey on whether or not a lodge was justified.
Mhm.
And a lot of different people from the community came in and talked about that. And it's my understanding that they didn't really make the case that there was enough demand to support a lodge here as an independent, standalone, profitable entity. But, you know, that was what, when Swift was here, that's 2014, 2014?
Right, that is not current thinking right now. The current thinking is that the association would benefit from a lodge being
So the
in
association
or adjacent to.
are
the
willing to
building.
subsidize it like, you know, just another.
That proposal hasn't been made yet. I don't know what the proposal's gonna look like, but August isn't all that far away. I think
No,
we've
it's
got
not.
hope that we'll get
So would you
something that we
support
can
that?
dialogue about at that time, right?
So you're not saying nay or nay to supporting it or subsidizing it if it came up?
No other,
We won't know until we hear whatever proposal they have come up with.
but here's what I think is fair to say. I mean, are you generally in favor of the notion of a lodge? Are you, Diana, generally? You're not in favor of a lodge, and I am in favor of a lodge, so.
Well, I'm
we'll
in
see.
favor of a lodge if it'll pay for itself.
Well, I'm not,
I mean, I think
I'm not,
That's the whole deal.
that's the whole
I'm not
deal.
in favor of a lodge that contains any POA money in it.
Exactly,
Right.
And I
exactly.
think that we're all.
Are you
Well-
on board with that too? No POA money for lodge?
There's, that, the way I have heard anything at this point, there is nothing to involve the DOA putting money in.
Well, the
Who's in
problem,
charge of that presentation?
Leslie.
Leslie.
Yeah, Leslie. Yeah, the CEO will present to the board an option to consider, and the board will debate and discuss that, and that is expected by August. And I imagine it'll coincide with budget season, so we'll clearly know what, if anything, would impact the budget in her proposal, right? If anything, and I'm not saying there will be, I'm saying if anything. Welcome.
Joe, can you let these people sit down behind you?
he can't hear you.
People behind you that want to sit down. Can you
Yeah,
move
just
your chair
sit there.
forward just a
Okay,
tiny?
good.
Thanks.
Okay, the problem that I have with the lodge is that if you can get a developer to bring it in and manage it and run it and everything, that's all fine and well. But what if it fails? We're not going to let a large building sit there like that. We can't. It would be really bad. It would look very unfavorable
I
to the
completely
village.
agree.
And then the POA would have to take it over.
Well, there'd have to be some sort of, we're so far away from, you know, there's so many questions out there, but there would have to be some sort of exit strategy built into the process too, for it to become palatable.
That
Yeah,
sounds good.
and here's another thing that we need to consider. If a lodge were to come in either adjacent to the association's property or within it, those are going to be very complex deals, right? So POA money can take lots of different forms. It can be in a reduced provision of land, the cost of provision of land. It can take the form of, you know, some sort of sweet deal on assessments. I don't know. Let's just keep our mind open to the fact that this isn't going to be write a check and it goes. It's going to be a complex deal that we all need to be patient and listen to all aspects of when it's proposed. If it's, you know,
Will we be
whatever's
privy to the complex deal?
To
Will that
the
be,
degree it's
or will
not-
that be confidential?
to the degree it's not protected, I don't think we're going to have a contract by then. She's expected to present for our consideration a plan, not necessarily a contract at that time. And the contract may have confidential provisions in it because contracts like that sometimes do, right? But we also know that any property owner can examine a contract at the office. But to make it public when there's confidential provisions, no, that won't happen. But honestly, I don't anticipate a contract in August. I anticipate a plan for the board's reaction to see, is this even worth pursuing? And that will be a very public discussion at that, or I intend to make it a very public discussion.
Good.
Yeah, Pat?